It's been a couple days since the Battlefield 6 beta hit almost 518,000 peak players on Steam, and that was just in weekend 1 and a beta. Compared to Call of Duty's all-time peak of almost 489,000, that's an all-time peak in the entire lifespan of the game, and it's nearly a 30,000 player difference. Now I'll take this with a grain of salt because some players like myself launch Call of Duty on Battle.net, so it's not going to count the Steam players. It might be a little bit different. You know, and not to mention the content creators have even been hitting insane numbers on all the platforms that they stream on. I saw Stone Mountain with up to 70 to even 80,000 people watching him at one time on Twitch. Now that we're a couple days after the beta, I've seen a lot of influencers on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, all the platforms, actually playing the other Battlefield titles even. And as somebody that really got into PC gaming at Battlefield right around the same time, I'm really excited to see how the rest of the year goes for the rest of Battlefield. But before that happens, I want to talk about some things that I love and I'm really excited about for Battlefield 6. So the first thing has got to be the in-world chat. Most people play Battlefield with their friends, and whenever they're doing that, they're probably on Discord. But if you haven't tried out the in-world directional chat, I highly recommend it. Basically what happens is when you're close to somebody, you hear them as if they were right next to you. But when they move away, they go to a radio communication. I know it's kind of crazy because for years we've always wanted better comms in game and better quality microphones in game, and now we're taking a step back. But man, does it make it feel like you're a little bit more immersed into the battle when your friendly is calling for help over a radio rather than what sounds like right in your ear. And definitely this is something where playing with a group of friends is really important, and I was lucky enough to play the beta with a few of my friends and we had a great time. The next thing I want to say that I really like about the beta is that even though it's not the most optimized, the maps, even on the low settings, are absolutely gorgeous. Now I do run DLSS for a little bit more frame rendering assistance, especially whenever I'm recording, but the game looks incredible. Basically, I run it with everything on low except textures, and it looks amazing. I think Peak is the best looking map, not exactly the best playing map. I'm sure many of you have seen the paparazzi pictures where there's just a ton of Sniper Glen on the Charlie Point in Conquest, but I do think that that map is the best looking right now. Another thing that I really enjoy is the RPG moment. Being able to shoot a helicopter right out of the air, I mean, it's absolutely insane. I remember the first time on the beta that I shot a heli out of the sky, and it was one of those moments where I thought to myself, we are back. I'm just excited to find out who the first person to rendezvous is, and I'm sure that whenever that video goes out, it's going to be viral. Next, I want to talk about the weapon sounds. They sound incredible. Punchy, gritty, real life, makes you feel even more immersed. The sniper rifle, even though there's only one in the beta, holy cow, that thing sounds fantastic. One of the coolest mechanics that I have to say I am so impressed with is dragging my teammates while reviving them. Whether I'm playing the medic or I'm playing just with a squad and reviving them, I've had a few times where I've grabbed a downed friendly and pulled them into cover and finished the revive, and as a military medic, that makes me so happy. If you've ever taken any type of training like tactical combat casualty care, the care under fire aspect is the first thing they talk about, and that's one thing that if you can, get them out of fire and render aid. Another really nice mechanic about this game is there's no ridiculous skill-based matchmaking. And I'm not out here dominating every match, but when I have a great game, it doesn't immediately throw me to the wolves. And even Sunday night, whenever I was playing with a friend, and we had one game where we got destroyed. But the next one after that was an absolutely fine game. And it wasn't like skill-based matchmaking was throwing us into that one. It was just ping-based and matchmaking-based, which I love. One of the other things I really liked as somebody that played a lot of Warzone is the balanced aim assist. A user by the name of Hexsmith over on X posted a video showing the effects of rotational aim assist, and it actually looks like it's there to assist players and not actually aim for them. You have to give some sort of input before it actually decides to kick in, which is amazing. It's not just one of those crazy just move left stick and it's going to aim for you like in Call of Duty. The anti-cheat seems to work in this game as well. For a beta, I haven't ran into obvious hackers, and the devs have claimed that their kernel level anti-cheat has banned over 300,000 players that have been trying to access or modify files that should not be accessed. And as somebody that has seen what Ricochet is doing over there on Warzone, I am very happy to see the Battlefield anti-cheat doing numbers. Another slight difference from Call of Duty is there's normal player models. I know there's that one that comes in the Twitch drop that's kind of purple, but even that model is pretty dang normal. Like, I don't think we're going to see Nicki Minaj or even Darth Vader or something that EA owns out there on the battlefield, and that makes me happy. I think that there should be enough customizability to make your player look unique, but it doesn't have to be something absolutely crazy. Destruction seems to be pretty balanced as well in Battlefield 6. So many of the walls can be destroyed, but there's a lot of accessible hardcover options in the maps. It also doesn't feel like every map is a bunch of people trying to completely level the map. I know that in Bad Company and some of the previous Battlefields, buildings would just absolutely get demolished, and then that's all that's left is just flat space with barely any cover. And since people aren't trying to level the map, it really shows how it's a feature and not one of the main focuses of the player base. And it's not some gimmick that the devs are really relying on for their game. And speaking of gimmicks, there's no gimmicks in Battlefield 6. It feels like a love child of BF4 and BF3 taken and just modernized, where it's this near future type of environment with weapons and vehicles and operators and things that we understand as a Battlefield community and have come to know and love over the years. This is what players need. DICE isn't out here trying to play the nostalgia violin and reel players in. No, this is real. This is a fantastic title, but it's not perfect. So let's talk about some of the things I would love to see along the lifespan of Battlefield 6. One, the shotguns need to be nerfed. While I loved running around, and I actually have a clip, I believe, in this video where I'm just destroying a bunch of players inside of a building, and it's one of those things where it feels great whenever you have the shotgun, but whenever you don't, it can be pretty frustrating. Now, the devs have already confirmed that there is a build where the shotgun is nerfed, and that's something that I already know is on the devs' radar, so I don't have to worry too much about that one. Another thing I think would be a cool addition is Commander mode. I've had a few friends that have actually said it was one of their favorite modes, and to be honest, it really integrated mobile gaming in a very intuitive and unique way. There's not too many games out there where a mobile user can log in and influence other platforms' games, which the Commander mode did a fantastic and well-balanced job of. I think it'd be really cool to see something like that in this title. Next, I know that they're bringing in a server browser. Not completely unique to Battlefield games, but it's what players really enjoyed about Battlefield games. And with the integration of Battlefield Portal, this will happen, but it's just a waiting game until it does. I've actually had it where I've match made on the same map 2 or 3 times in a row, on the same mode and on the same side, and it can be very frustrating. But a custom server browser where people can go in and pick a custom server with a custom mode, custom amount of tickets, and really enjoy Battlefield how they want to enjoy Battlefield. A server browser is definitely critical for a Battlefield title. Another thing that I would like to see is UI adjustments. If I could change the layout of the UI and toggle certain things a little bit more, even if those were things like going back to a classic Battlefield experience. So say I like the Battlefield 3 UI, so I decide to switch back to that one just by a click of a button. I think if they did something like that, it could really bring enough customization to where players could do what they wanted to do, but still keep it as a Battlefield title. I think the biggest example of this for me is the resupply notifications that pop up right on the close side of your screen. They're not completely distracting, but they could definitely be moved over to the side a little bit more. So if I could just slide some things around or change the opacity of certain notifications, I would love that. Just like the server browser and shotgun nerfs, another thing I know is coming, but it will be nice to see, is more weapons added. For example, having a long-range rocket launcher could really balance out the tank players that sit in the back of their spawn and just shoot people from a distance. With the amount of damage they can put out, having an effective counter like a javelin would be fantastic. And I'm pretty sure that in some of the previews, we've actually seen a javelin, so hopefully the javelin's range and lockability will be enough to balance out those tank campers that just sit way back in their spawn. Another thing I'd love to see improved is audio. Sometimes there's a significant amount of noise pollution, and I would love to see the audio that was similar to BF3 or BF4. I felt like I could really hear people shooting, but also be able to pick up on footsteps, and that balance in BF3 and BF4 was so well done. I've messed with some of the settings, but maybe I just need to mess with them a little bit more, because from what I found, headphones were not actually the best option for the IEMs that I use. It was actually stereo and then the normal default sound mix, and that was kind of the way to go. I just don't want to see it where somebody has to download a bunch of third-party audio applications to be able to balance the game sound to where they can hear people. Another thing that I would love to see is replacing the squad leader by requesting orders. Similar to other Battlefield titles, if you requested an order and your squad leader didn't place the order in enough time, you then became the new squad leader. Now it's always possible that you could lose that role if somebody else requests an order and you don't place another one. I think that adds just another little element that could really make it a lot easier for whenever I'm playing with my friends that really don't like to place orders, and rather than going into squad management and assigning a new squad leader, it just happens automatically over time because I just want to place the orders. But those are the things I would love to see, and I gotta say that they seem very minor, and about half of them devs are already working on them or they've already corrected them in other Battlefield builds. If I had to give this game an overall rating for weekend 1 of the beta, it would have to be an 8.5 out of 10. I'm not saying that it's a perfect title, but if it released right now, I'm happy. I think the Battlefield community can definitely agree that we are back. The devs did a fantastic job, and it is a love song to previous Battlefield titles that people would love to see. Anyway, I'm excited for next weekend with the new map, new modes, and even more only in Battlefield moments. If you guys are going to be playing the game, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you liked about the first weekend of the beta, and don't forget to give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe, comment down below, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Enemy jet spotted. Use cover.
I just cut down a tree. Oh, that was so close to that heli. The stationary anti-air is actually kind of OP. Holy cow, that was fast.
I got fucking bombed by a jet. This guy's a problem. Go take him out.
I need that jet to come back over here, and I'm going to shoot the hell out of him with this rocket. I have faith. Never mind, his jet's down. Everybody's repairing. Repair the tank, guys. We're invincible. Shrub's not, but we are.
Not what?
Invincible. This is so good. Jeez. GG tank fight. I got some pretty solid kills there, though.